Be happy, be healthy, be your best. Be your best.
So let's talk about understanding sugar substitutes. Okay. There's so many of them out there, and I've just seen so many people have questions about, well, what do I use? Do I use this? Do I use that? What's the health benefit of this? Is it okay to use that? So really, what are sugar substitutes? Well, they're sweet, but they have different properties from sugar. Natural sugar substitutes come from plants, and they're used for health reasons or their plant origin. Artificial sugar substitutes are chemically made, and they're often used in the diet sodas and diet foods. And then you have sugar alcohols. These are like hybrid sweeteners, and they're with sugar and alcohol properties, and often are used for reducing calories in somebody's diet and also the dental benefits. So, what are the reasons why people want to use sugar alternatives to begin with? Well, calorie reduction, supporting weight management, and having a healthier diet. Blood sugar control is often an important one. It's commonly used by people that have diabetes or know that they now have insulin resistance. Dental health benefits are that some of the sugar substitutes actually help prevent tooth decay by not promoting the harmful bacteria that can grow in the mouth and cause decay in the teeth. And then there's dietary accommodations, considered beneficial for low carb, diabetic, ketogenic diets. So those are some of the reasons why people would use them. The health considerations and the controversies that surround sugar substitutes are what really are the health benefits. Does the reduced calorie intake and lower risk of diabetes, safety concerns? Some sugar substitutes raise concerns due to possible side effects, and some of them have unknown long-term health risks. And continuous scientific research really needs to be done to investigate the effects of the different substitutes and the safety of them over time. So let's go into the natural sugar substitutes to begin with. One of the ones that comes to the mind that most people know about is stevia. It comes from the leaves of the stevia plant, and it's known for its sweetening properties. Stevia has an intense sweetness, but it has a slightly bitter aftertaste, making it unique among the natural sweeteners. A lot of people love stevia, and then there's some people that don't like it because of the slight aftertaste. The application in foods, it's widely used in beverages, low-calorie foods, as a calorie-free sweetening alternative. So stevia is extracted from the leaves of the plant. It doesn't raise blood sugar. It has some antioxidant properties. It's 200 to 300 times sweeter than sugar. It's noteworthy that it's been used for hundreds of years to treat diabetes in South America. And today it's being studied for similar purposes throughout the world. It's often the preferred sugar substitute, particularly for anyone who eats a low carb or a ketogenic diet. The next one is monk fruit. Monk fruit extract. What are its benefits and its usages? It's a natural sweetener. It's extracted from an Asian fruit and serves as a natural alternative to sugar. It's calorie-free sweetness. It provides sweetness without calories, making it often used for low-calorie and diabetic-friendly diets. And its most common uses, it's widely used in drinks, baking. It gives a clean, sweet flavor without the aftertaste that stevia has, which makes it where a lot of people prefer it to stevia, just because of that lack of a bitter aftertaste. So it's 250 times sweeter than sugar. It contains 0 calories. Once again, it has antioxidant properties. It's been deemed safe by the FDA. But stevia has a little bit more research and data behind it. They're both good low-carb sweeteners. So the verdict, monk fruit is a great alternative sweetener to sugar. How about honey and agave nectar? These are natural sweeteners. Well, honey and agave nectar are derived from plants. with their own unique flavors and nutritional profiles. Both sweeteners have additional nutrients beyond sugar, making them preferred by a lot of people rather than using refined sugar. The honey and agave nectar are often used instead of refined sugar in cooking and beverages because of their flavor and the health benefits that have been attributed to them. Agave nectar is made from the agave plant. It's often marketed as a healthy sugar substitute, but it was really interesting in doing the research on it that depending on processing, it can contain about 80% fructose. That high fructose content matters when it's part of a diet that doesn't have much fiber in it. And the fiber is there in the original agave plant, but it's removed during processing. So the verdict is out because substituting table sugar with agave syrup is kind of like substituting a Danish pastry for a donut. It's not really that much better, and in some cases it can even be worse. So it depends on the quality of the agave syrup, how it was processed, as to what its actual health benefits are. How about honey? Made by bees, it's a preferred sweetener of many who you do a carnivore diet or an animal-based diet. It's the only animal-based sweetener, and it has some really cool properties, especially when it's raw, and actually pretty much only when it's raw. There are compounds in raw honey like bee pollen, royal jelly, and propolis that can improve the immune system and reduce allergies. But there's really a lot more in-depth research that's needed to solidify the claims. Honey also contains flavonoids, which can help with wound healing, blood glucose regulation, immune health, and more. However, much like sucrose, honey is mostly fructose and glucose. So it actually is still sugar. So what is the verdict? The verdict is that honey does have health benefits, but it still, for some people, can be what's called a sugar bomb. It can be used wisely, and it's really beneficial before and after a workout. So do some more research on honey. There's different types of honey. Definitely lean towards the raw honey. There's Manuka honey that has a lot of health benefits associated with it. But at the same time, keep in mind the fact that it still is mostly fructose and glucose, which can have a real effect on your glucose curve, your fructose curve, and also insulin, as far as what's going on with your insulin. How about molasses? Molasses is a thick brown syrup made by boiling down cane sugar. It's really simply a reduced form of sugar. Is there anything good to say about it? Well, actually, yes. It's high in iron, potassium, manganese, magnesium, and copper. And those are all really minerals that are needed for the heart, the bones, and the immune health. Manganese, for instance, helps open your blood vessels and helps them to stay dilated, which can actually support healthy blood pressure. Manganese is also known for being beneficial for the vertebrae and discs. So there are benefits to what is in molasses. However, it contains more minerals than sucrose, but if you're avoiding sugar, it still isn't high up on the ladder as far as a really good choice. Coconut sugar. Here's the pros and cons of coconut sugar. It's a kind of carbohydrate that's made from coconut sap. So the pros, it contains antioxidants, zinc, iron, calcium, and potassium. It has a lower glycemic index than sucrose, so it raises blood sugar more slowly. It contains inulin, and that's a prebiotic fiber that can feed good bacteria in the gut and improve your digestion. The cons are that it's equivalent to sugar in calories. It contains lots of fructose, the fat-forming sugar, which is one of the negatives with it. So the verdict, coconut sugar is just sugar, but it has different benefits and different nutrients. How about maple syrup? Okay. Most people think of maple syrup as an absolutely essential topping for pancakes and waffles, not a vehicle for antioxidants, but maple syrup is high in antioxidants. It's reported to have more antioxidant force than honey and may improve glucose regulation. When rodents were fed maple syrup along with sucrose, it curbed their blood sugar spike compared to sucrose alone. Despite these beneficial properties, however, maple syrup is still mostly sucrose. So the verdict, it's better than table sugar, but it still shouldn't be considered a health food. The other consideration is making sure that when you buy your maple syrup, that it's actually pure maple syrup, and your grade B that's darker is going to have more of those beneficial proponents to it. Artificial sugar substitutes. Aspartame. Aspartame has a very high sweet intensity. It's around 200 times sweeter than sugar, and it makes it where they use small amounts in products. You'll find it in diet soda, sugar-free products. It does provide sweetness without added calories. However, it's unstable at high temperatures. It's unsuitable for cooking or baking. And negative data, recent studies have associated aspartame with a greater risk of stroke and dementia. So if you're a regular drinker of Diet Coke or different things that have aspartame in them, you should really take seriously the new data that is coming out that it does increase the risk of stroke and possibly dementia. How about sucralose? It's stable and it has culinary uses. It remains stable at high cooking temperatures and baking temperatures without losing its sweetness. It's 600 times sweeter than sugar, requiring very small amounts to be used in order to get the desired effect. It's widely used in cooking and baking for sweetening without adding calories. However, emerging research shows potential dangers, suggesting it's not metabolically neutral, and so more study is needed about sucralose as far as it being something that should be consumed on a regular basis. How about sugar alcohols and other alternatives? Xylitol. Xylitol is touted as being something that's good in the dental field. It helps reduce cavities by reducing harmful oral bacteria that just promotes people getting cavities. It provides sweetness similar to sugar without the harmful effects on teeth, making it a dental-friendly sweetener. It's widely used in chewing gums and oral care products for the dental benefits. Erythritol. Erythritol, what about it with calorie count and taste profile? It's low calorie. It contains fewer calories than regular sugar, which makes it where people that want to have a calorie-conscious diet use it. It offers a clean, pleasant, sweet taste without the aftertaste that's common in other sugar alcohols. However, it's well tolerated with minimal digestive discomfort compared to other sugar alcohols, but recent studies have some serious concerns. One study out of Cleveland, in particular, out of Cleveland Clinic, was shown to link it to increased risks of blood clotting, heart attack, and stroke by making platelets stickier and damaging blood vessel cells. So right there with erythritol, when you have higher risk of blood clotting, heart attack, and stroke, that's a serious consideration, no matter how much you like the taste of it or using it. So it's popular in ketogenic and low-calorie diet foods and as an alternative sweetener. How about sorbitol and malitol? There are advantages and there's concerns. Both of them provide sweetness and help retain moisture in various food products, which makes the texture and the shelf life of the products better. However, consuming large amounts of it have been shown to really cause a lot of digestive discomfort, like bloating, and it can have a real laxative effect in some people. Recent studies have also identified a correlation between higher plasma levels with both of these and an elevated risk of coronary heart disease. So here again, when you have studies like that that are coming out, you want to backtrack and go to some of the other things that do not have the now known health risks. So how are you going to choose the right sugar substitute? Well, some of them are suitable for baking and cooking. Some of them are heat stable. Sugar substitutes differ in their ability to withstand heat. They can impact texture. They can impact flavor. Uh, the caramelizing property of sugar substitutes affects the color and taste of baked goods. There's potential side effects and recommended daily intakes with these type of sugars. Sugar substitutes are safe when consumed within smaller daily limits. Overconsumption can lead to health issues. Some sugar substitutes can cause digestive discomfort, allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. Other more serious concerns are emerging in regard to those chemical ones that we've been talking about. These side effects that we're talking about, we're not talking about honey or maple syrup or molasses or table sugar or agave syrup, or stevia, any of the plant ones. We're talking specifically about the chemically made ones. So if you are using some of the ones that have the potential side effects, you really want to keep your intake really small so that you don't suffer any of the adverse health effects, and possibly consider just cutting them out and switching to something that is safer. So I hope this helps you navigate the world of sugars, whether they're the plant-based ones, the chemical ones, the sweetness ones, the different uses that you can use them for. And just look forward to having you use the different types of sugars in a way that keeps you healthy, happy, and at your best.
Your best.